Hello everyone. Today I'm making ملفوف cabbage rolls, and I'm gonna make two kinds, one vegetarian and one with meat to please everyone in my family. So the first step is to pour the cabbage head. Just take this out, this part out, so we can boil it. So I take this part, but you really need to go inside. And sometimes I kind of experiment with different knives that they work better. But take as much as you can. That way when you boil it, then the leaves come loose. Cabbage leaves come loose quickly. But I think this is gonna do it. So just take this out. It's being somewhat stubborn, but it's close. There we go. So I'm taking this out, and as you can see, this is all it's gonna be loose when I put it in the boiling water and boil it. So I'm going to put the cabbage head in the boiling water and just keep working with it. Sometimes flip it upside down, but see how those leaves of cabbage get loose. So I take them out, put them in a strainer. So I keep doing that. And of course with these, the tools that will work for you. There we are. So basically you want to soften him, get him off the cabbage head, and then put them on the side, and then we'll work with them once I'm all done with the cabbage. So I'm gonna flip it over, do this, and I'll continue working with the cabbage in the same way, and I'll get back to you soon. Okay, so as you can see, finished boiling the cabbage, so I have them all here. So I'm gonna start cutting them to prepare them for rolling. So I take each one and I kind of cut it in half such that I take the hard middle rib out, and so I stack them together. And I like to kind of stack them by size and by color sometimes, because when you see, you know, you have this darker color, I usually put the darker ones in the bottom of the pan because they may require more cooking. So I kind of sort them like that and get them all ready to be rolled. And I will come back to you in the next. All right, now I'm done with the leaves of the cabbage. So I put the rice. I put 4 large cups of rice, and I put salt on it, and now I add hot water to soak it for a few minutes. And then we'll prepare the stuffing in just a minute. Right? So I got the ingredients ready to make the vegetarian cabbage rolls. So I have the rice that I soaked and washed with cold water and drained. I put those ribs of the cabbage in the bottom of the pan, and I have the cabbage ready here, all cut and stacked. I washed the parsley. I need to chop it, so I have 2 bunches of parsley. I have tomatoes, 2 large tomatoes, 1 head of onion, some garlic, I have pepper, salt, allspice, and then mint, dried mint that I'm gonna add to it, plus of course olive oil. And so those are the ingredients for the stuffing. So I'll have it all chopped, mixed, ready to go to roll. All right, so I chopped the parsley, garlic, onion, tomatoes, and I have everything ready. So I'm going to mix it together and show you. Right, so I'm going to mix the vegetarian stuffing. As you could see, I mixed all the ingredients I showed you, and there is some dried mint that I kind of grind by hand and add it to it. And then sprinkle some salt, and I would usually taste it after. Some pepper, about less than a tablespoon. Allspice, maybe less than a tablespoon as well. And olive oil, of course. So I put about half a cup of olive oil. Mix them all together. It smells so good. This stuffing reminds me of tabbouleh, except I don't add cucumbers, of course, to this one. Just add the parsley, tomatoes, onion, of course, garlic we don't add to the tabbouleh, but I add it here. And it looks so good, smells so good. So I'm going just to taste it to make sure it's good and start rolling it. That tastes so good, I'm sure. It smells so good right now. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how I start rolling. So I have this leaf. I add the stuffing to it and go like this, shape it, and then roll it. Put it on the side. Take another one. Put them like this. Roll them, put them on the side, and then I'll put them in the pan that I have the middle of the leaves. So I stack them in there. And I keep doing this until I'm done with my stuffing. So there we go. I'll come back to you when I'm done with all of that. All right, so I'm gonna add salt to the water that I'm going to add when I cook the gonna mix it like this by hand, and I pour it on the, this is the vegetarian cabbage rolls. So I kind of try to cover it, but not too much. That's probably enough because it's almost maybe a little more like barely to cover it. Yeah, that's perfect. And then I turn the stove on to medium high until it boils, and then I lower the heat. Sometimes I need to put a plate on top so it doesn't overflow and it doesn't float, but this is the vegetarian cabbage roll. It's boiling. I lowered the temperature and I'm gonna wait on it for another 20 minutes. I'll check on it.